What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here then welcome to our little corner of the internet. Today we're going to be watching a video titled Why Georgia is Basically Just Atlanta. Why Georgia is basically that the whole state of Georgia is basically just Atlanta. Let's see what this video is about.
This is Georgia. With a population of over 11 million people, it's one of the fastest growing states in the country. But if you zoom in on a population map, something becomes immediately clear. Almost everything revolves around one city, Atlanta.
But isn't that relative as well a little bit? Because Atlanta has such high rate of people. Isn't it very, very popular? Like, I'm not going to say numbers, but millions of people live in Atlanta, so...
The Atlanta metropolitan area alone has over 6.4 million people, more than half of Georgia's entire population. And when you look at economic
That's probably nearly how many people we have in my country, in Finland. No, there must be more, right? Right? How many people live in Finland? Wait, I'm gonna check. There's literally more people living in Atlanta than in my country. What? There's 5.66 million people living in Finland. Just to put America a little bit in perspective. Wild.
Output, job growth, corporate headquarters, and infrastructure, the imbalance becomes even more dramatic. While most large states have multiple...
Wait, how is that even possible? How can there be more people living in a city than in the whole country? Wait, I must have gotten that wrong though. That can't be true, right? That can't be true. I don't know if you heard that. My stomach made a weird sound.
6.4 million.
6.4 million people in Atlanta. Oh, wait, let me double check. Yeah. Atlanta has more people than Finland. That's wild.
Balance becomes even more dramatic. While most large states have multiple major urban centers competing for influence, Georgia doesn't. It has Atlanta. Atlanta has the largest airport in the world by passenger traffic. It has the 8th most Fortune 500 companies in the country, accounting for...
I'm just confused. My mind is confused. How? What do you mean there's more people, excuse me, living in the city of Atlanta than in the whole of Finland? How many people live in America? Billions, probably, but what? I don't know.
Almost all of Georgia's total. Nearly every major highway in the state either runs through it or leads toward it. If you want to work in a high-paying corporate job in Georgia, chances are you're going to Atlanta. If you want to fly anywhere internationally, you're probably going through Atlanta too. Meanwhile, outside of the metro area, the picture looks very different. Cities like Savannah, Augusta, Columbus, and Macon are important regional hubs, but none of them come close to rivaling Atlanta's scale. So, how did this happen? Why did one city come to dominate an entire state? Economically, politically, and culturally. To understand that, you have to go back to the 19th century. During this time, Savannah was actually the largest city in Georgia. Founded in 1733, it was the colony's first settlement and had grown into a major Atlantic port. In the age of cotton and river-based trade, coastal access meant economic power, and Savannah controlled it. However, things were about to shift. In the 1830s, Georgia began investing heavily in railroads, which, unlike rivers, could move goods year-round and reach deep into the interior of the state. One of the most important projects was the Western and Atlantic Railroad. Instead of ending in an existing city, the line terminated at a brand new rail junction in northwestern Georgia. That location eventually became Atlanta. By the 1850s, railroads from multiple directions soon converged there, and almost by accident, Atlanta became the transportation crossroads of the state. Then came the Civil War. Because of its rail importance, Atlanta became a strategic target. The city was burned during General Sherman's campaign, but after the war it rebuilt rapidly. And crucially, when Georgia was reorganizing during Reconstruction, Atlanta replaced Milledgeville as the state capital in 1868. That decision mattered enormously, as it meant Atlanta was now both the transportation hub and political center of the state. It kept growing steadily into the 20th century, going from a population of only 37,000 in 1880 to 200,000 by 1920. After World War II, Atlanta started to aggressively market itself as the capital of the New South. It positioned itself as business-friendly.
I still don't understand how there can be more people in a city than a whole country. It doesn't, like, it looks massive, yeah, but it doesn't look at like massive to be like more populated than the whole Finland. I'm confused. Where like how? I don't know, my mind is shattered right now.
Transportation-oriented and forward-looking. When the interstate highway system was built, multiple major routes such as I-75, I-85, and I-20 converged in Atlanta, reinforcing the rail pattern that had already existed. But this is also when a large shift occurred. Beginning in the 1950s, white flight reduced the city population and people started moving to the suburbs in DeKalb, Cobb, and Gwinnett counties, which all exploded in population. Then aviation changed everything. While the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport was built back in the 1920s, it had major expansions in the 70s and 80s, which turned it into the largest airport in the world at the time. As a result, Atlanta became the primary air gateway of the Southeast. As air travel expanded, airlines, most notably Delta Airlines, built hub operations around the city, routing millions of passengers through Atlanta every year. As you can see in this graph, by the end of the 20th century, population growth in the metro area increased more rapidly than ever before. During this time, Atlanta transitioned from a regional business hub into a national corporate powerhouse. Its central location in the southeast meant companies could reach most major East Coast markets within a 2-hour flight. And compared to cities like New York or Los Angeles, costs were significantly lower. This led several giants like the Coca-Cola Company, Home Depot, and UPS to move key operations to the city. High-paying corporate jobs attracted educated workers. Universities expanded, new skyscrapers rose up, and suburbs sprawled further outward. Today, the metro area has a population of around 6.4 million, up nearly 3 million since 2000. If we compare that to the other 3 largest metros, Augusta, Savannah, and Columbus, none even come close. And that gap isn't really closing either. While these cities are consistently adding new residents, they're growing on an entirely different scale than Atlanta. For example,
But what, like, how large is Atlanta though? Like, what is considered, because obviously not only the inner city, there's a lot of suburban areas, no? Are surrounding it. It just still that makes no sense to me. It just makes no sense to me. I don't understand. Like, I've seen the scale of America in a video. I understand that it's massive. It's like it's huge. I mean, Texas is bigger than Spain. But this is just, I don't know. I feel like I will never understand until I come and see it for myself, because what? How? I'm just gonna be the whole video like, what? I just find it so crazy. I feel like even Finland has cities that are very, very highly populated and like tight, you know, there's a lot of people, and Finland must be bigger than the city of Atlanta. Is it? Probably not. I don't know anymore.
the fastest growing of these 3 is Savannah, and its metro area has still only added about 140,000 residents since 2000. And when one metropolitan area grows this large relative to the rest of the state, it begins to reshape everything. Politics, infrastructure, investment, and even identity. Today, 56% of Georgia's population lives in the Atlanta metro area. That means statewide elections are heavily influenced by a single region. Almost all larger infrastructure projects in the state are also concentrated in Atlanta. The State Route 400 Express Lanes project is one of the largest highway expansions currently underway in the United States. With a price tag of $4.6 billion, it will build 16 miles of new tolled express lanes and a future bus rapid transit corridor along SR 400, a vital north-south artery connecting major suburbs to downtown. Another massive project is the transformed 285/400 project, which completely redesigns and rebuilds the interchange where Interstate 285 meets Georgia SR 400, one of the busiest in the state, in order to reduce congestion. Or take higher education. Georgia Tech, Georgia State University, and Emory University are all located in Metro Atlanta. Together, they produce tens of thousands of graduates every year, many of whom stay in the region, feeding the local economy with engineers, business majors, healthcare workers, and tech talent. But this level of dominance doesn't come without trade-offs. Traffic congestion in Metro Atlanta is already among the worst in the nation. Commutes have stretched longer and longer as development pushes outward into exurban counties like Cherokee, Henry, and Forsyth. According to a recent study by the American Transportation Research Institute, Metro Atlanta is home to 4 of the 10 worst bottlenecks in the country, with some of the most congested stretches being I-285 at
This is something that I hear frequently about Atlanta, that the traffic is the worst ever
in the country, with some of the most congested stretches being I-285 at I-85 North, I-75 at I-285 North, and I-20 at I-285 West. Housing affordability has also become a growing concern. Home ownership costs rose more than 60% relative to income between 2019 and 2025. And as more people move in and high-paying jobs concentrate in the region, they are expected to keep rising. With a median home price of $378,000, it's still very much an affordable alternative to cities like New York or Los Angeles, but it's becoming increasingly expensive for longtime residents. Georgia is a state largely shaped by one dominant city, and the question now isn't really whether Atlanta will keep growing, but rather whether the rest of Georgia can grow alongside it, or whether the gap between the capital and everything else will continue to widen. Because if you want to understand Georgia's future, you have to understand Atlanta.
My mind is just blown. There's nothing else in my mind right now than the fact that in a city there's more people than in my whole country. I'm gonna be thinking about this for a long time after this. But guys, thank you so much for joining me for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!